Hi, Lucy here. So today what we're going to do is replace a pump seal on a Whisper Flo pump. Actually what we're going to do is put a new motor on, but that means we'll have to replace the pump seal. So I'm just going to get right to it and see if we are successful. Okay, let me set up and I'll see you back on the other side. Okay, so before we get started, the first thing you need to know is that you have to have the right pump seal. So one of the ways you can do it, besides asking at the pool store, is this is U.S. seal manufacturer. I don't know if you can see that. They have, this is a cross-reference guide in here. Now you can download this, or they give you a whole sheet, a little bit of instruction. Also on their website they do have a YouTube video. They cover 3 different pumps. The thing about them, I mean, I really appreciated watching them, but they're using like almost brand new pumps, so that's just not realistic. So that's why I thought, well, I would just throw this in. So now on this one, this is taking a PS 1000. So you can either get this from them, or what I prefer to do is buy a Go kit. All right, so it's got the seals, the O-rings that you're going to need, everything that to replace the stuff here. So I like to do this. This is still a 1000. One of the things that the U.S. Seal manufacturing company has done is enhanced some of the seals. So if you have a salt water or ozonator or something like that, they use a different seal, so just check them, you know, and get the right one. The other thing is you don't want to use Teflon or silicone based products. This came with the Go kit. Now it says it's PTFE based. I looked it up and it's, well, you know, without being a chemist or anything, you know, I trust that they're giving me the right stuff. So then the other thing is you want to make sure that when you're using the seals that you want to keep the surface very clean. So if this gets touched, and I'm touching it now because what you can do is once you put it in, we're going to clean it with alcohol, all right, or lighter fluid, they said. So I trust they know what they're doing. And that's it. So now the first thing we want to do, get this out of the way. You'll want to use a 9/16 to take the pump off. Oops, go this way. All right. So either you can use, if you have a drill, that's nice. I don't have one with me. And these come off, you know, relatively easy. On this side here, there's a nut on this other side. So you may have to, like I've got a ratchet here. I'm going to set this camera up differently because I don't like how I keep reaching over. So, but here, and you'll have to hold on here and just take it off that way. All right, so I'm gonna take these off, put the camera at a different angle, and then we're gonna get down to like really the real work here. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I took the bolts off. Now one of the things you will notice is that they're different lengths. Okay, so be sure that you lose the nut on this side, and it'll be obvious which ones will be replaced. Okay, these guys are the long ones. All right, so now we're going to separate this pump housing. I'm trying to do it without breaking the table. Ah, Jesus. Normally I do this like on my work table, but couldn't get to it. All right, so we don't need this. All right now. We're going to be putting the new pump on here. All right, so all righty, now here's what we have. We're going to have to. What a mess, huh? There's these little tiny screws here to get to the impeller. And then we're also going to take these off the back. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, it's an Allen wrench, which I don't have on me right this second, so I got to pause. All right, there's two. We're going to get that off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I found my wrenches. Don't lose these screws. I'm going to put them in the lid there. And notice also that they have this O-ring is here, so this is why I like the Go kits, because it's got the O-ring there. So you know, when you don't have to try to guess what is in here, and they're really convenient to go that way. Okay, nasty. Now it's not even turning at all. It should be able to turn freely, but obviously the bearings probably froze, the shaft is frozen. Alright, so I'm going to take this off now. Okay, now in here there is a screw. So the thing, I think PacFab also has these. And the thing about these, normally, you know, it's lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. However, with impellers, it's kind of like tires. You do it the opposite way. So instead of loosening it that way, I've got to loosen it this way. Okay, and it's very important to know that. Alright, now this thing should come off. If it doesn't, let's see. Usually you have to hold the shaft, but because it's so stuck, I'm thinking it might just be able to free. Now there's a few ways you can, they have those, the plumbers have those strap things. If you have that, that's good. I'm going to try with this and see if I can loosen it this way without cracking it. Oh, look at that. I swear I didn't even do it beforehand. Alright, and this is only because the shaft is frozen that it was able to do that. Alright, because otherwise you'd have to open up the back and hold on to it. In fact, I'm going to show you just in case, because that was like too easy. Okay, so back here, when you take this off, now this only screws off partial, so be very careful or you'll snap it. See that? It only went a little ways. Ew. So basically, what you could do if you're in a situation that that the shaft does move freely, let's see, you get a ½ inch and you put it here, and so what'll happen, let's see if I'm screwing it that way. So you're gonna be doing this, and I can't do it because it's stuck. So, but basically you can put this here and then turn it so that it's leaning down here, all right, so that when you do turn the impeller and the shaft is going to be turning, it will stop for you. Alrighty, so that's you know, but I'll take this any day. Alrighty, so turn this around again. Well, actually what we're going to do now, we're going to take these guys off. Are we here? Let me get you a little bit closer. Alright, so still a little ways away. Alright, so we're taking this back part off right here. Now, that ain't gonna work. So it's a 9/16. I'll get that in a second. You know, and also one of the things I meant to say, well, it's kind of obvious. So this is the top, all right? So if you're confused at all, or if for some reason you can't think correctly, just on the inside, you know, just put a little T for top, just to mark it. This, there's only one way. I mean, there, you know, there's 2 screws and that's it. So this here, sorry, there's 2 screws, and so there's it doesn't matter which way this goes in. Okay. Alrighty, we're gonna keep going. Unfortunately, those don't. That's not gonna work. So, all right, it's gonna take me just a little bit. So I'm gonna shut this off, and then when I get these undone, I'll record the rest. Okay, just a second. Okay, so now, as you can see, one part of the seal is in here, and that's where this is going to be being placed into. So we're going to take this one out, and you always want to replace both sides, okay? And then the other one is in here. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to gently, okay, that's like nasty. Yuck. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up, but before I do, hang on a second. What I like to do when I take these off, because you don't want to damage this housing, this part here, anything, you know, because we're going to be reusing this. So what I do is I like to use, where is it? Something like this that I can tap. Hang on a second. I'm not sure, this might be too big. I'm going to do this on the ground. But what you want to do is, because you want to take this out of here, okay? I don't know if you can see that or not. Lighting, of course. You want to take this part, and it will be this part of the seal itself. All right, so we're going to replace that. So we're going to take this out. Now we can try to use a screwdriver, but remember, you just don't want to damage it. So actually, honestly, what I do is I'm just going to get a little bit smaller one of these. I'm going to put it on the ground and just punch it out. Okay. Okay, so basically, you can either use a large screwdriver like this. I like to use this, and okay, so it just comes out like that. All right, and I'm going to put it back on the table, and we're going to clean it up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so before I put everything together, I'm going to soak this stuff in water right now, and then maybe just use some kind of, I don't want to use acid just because I'm in my backyard, but this is, again, the benefit of getting a Go kit, because this special gasket comes with this, okay? So but right now, I'm going to be taking this off. I took the O-ring for the lid, and that comes with this too. You know, I mean, it's just great to have. And also, if you use a slight dilution of a little bit of acid, you know, to clean this, you want to put the bolts in there too, because sometimes they get like calcified. So, you know, it's a good idea to clean them really well. So right now I'm just gonna put all this stuff. Yeah, you know, I probably will use like a little bit of acid because this is all calcium and junk. All right, and I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, and also you want to remove this the other half of the seal, but in here is where it's threaded, so you got to be careful. So you just want to go on the outside like this, and it should come up pretty easily. Okay. All right, and then before we put it together, we're going to clean this with some alcohol and just get everything nice and neat. All right. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put the seals in, Now, one of the things is if you happen to have, like, if there's calcium, whoop, I can't see what I'm doing. If there's calcium inside here, you can take lightly sandpaper it. This kind you can get wet, and it's real handy. So just get like inside of here, okay, and get it real clean, and then whoops, make sure that your surface area is clean when you're doing this. All right, so what they recommend on the US seal manufacturer is to get some alcohol and a soft cloth or lighter fluid. I have alcohol, and just get the area really clean. And then you get your lube. What they did was, like on this one, lube the seal. So just very, very, very little. Okay? Now again, you try not to touch that. Oh, there's my brothers here. So, all right. So, basically, you're gonna want to put it in here. I don't like to get, you know, if my hands have any lube on them. So you want to just do that, and then get your cloth. Put a little alcohol or lighter fluid on it, and make sure it's nice and clean. And also check for cracks just in case in shipping, and then just make sure it's snug in there. And we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll put the lube inside here. Let's just do that, and then I'll attend to my bro. It's very light. What I do is I just use the top of the what they send for the seals and just push it down. And yeah, right. And then also you want to look for, make sure that the seal itself has some play in it. Let me show you. So you want to make sure that it moves up and down, okay? All right, so let me finish this up, and we're going to clean this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what you want to do, because if you go like this, it's not going to go down. So what I'm doing is go like this. I'll pound it a little more. Perfect. Okay, so you want to be sure that that's in really like down tight, and so it'll be flush here. Okay, now we're going to make sure everything's clean. Do this again. Just make sure you get a cloth that doesn't like shed and stuff like that. Alrighty, now, next thing we're going to put in the O-ring here. I always find if you put a little bit down in here, it helps hold it on a little better. Make sure it gets down in there. And then lube the outside of it. Okay, so what I like to do is put the motor on the edge of a workspace. So when we start assembling, you know, you don't have to lift the motor up. You want to make sure that you're matching the motor. So this is a square flange. There is a C frame, and that's for other pumps. So be sure that's right. Make sure that if you have a 2 horsepower motor, it goes onto a 2 horsepower pump, and the impeller is the same. So if this is a 2 horsepower, you want it to go on to the 2 horsepower motor, okay? A lot of people try to cheat the system and get a 1.5 horses and put a 2 horsepower impeller on, and you're just going to burn out your motor. So, all right, so now, let me put this up here. Remember not to touch the inside. Oops, take this off. All right, and go straight through. Now these, what I like to do is spray either the bolts themselves or the inside. And I know I can turn this around, except it'll make it difficult. Or I can move the camera. But it's basically pretty simple. You know, you saw me take these off, so just gonna put these on. Okay, let me tighten these up, and we'll keep moving on. Okay, so now we put the impeller on. Now remember before when I took it off, the shaft was frozen? Well, this one turns. So the thing is, when I try to put this on, and it's going to turn, so then remember I was saying on the back, so I'm going to take off the back. This one actually comes off easy. Put on the 1/2 inch. Here we go. 1/2 inch. So let's see if I'm turning it this way. So watch. Okay, so remember both surfaces are clean. Be gentle. There's threaded inside. Okay, so when it gets to be like a little bit tight, so I'm going to show you the back end. I have this holding it down, so when I'm turning, so as I'm turning, that's gonna, when it starts getting tight, that's gonna hold it for me. Okay, I have to get this back right. Sorry. Hang on. All right, sorry about that. So you can hold it back here with that if you want, and then this, because it only goes like that's it. That's as far as it's going to tighten. Okay. So, all righty. Now we put the impeller on, or we put the impeller on, but remember this screw that we took off, and it comes with a little dinky tiny O-ring. So we're going to slide that on. Put it tiny, let's see. Okay, and there's also like this little gasket in there that should be in there. So the Go Kit doesn't come with that because it should be there. All right, so I'm just going to put that on. And remember, so normally when you tighten something, you go to the right, but this is going to go to the left. Okay, so remember, you don't want to, it's so natural to go to the right, so you don't want to do that. Okay. Make sure it's not rubbing anywhere and the impeller's not warped. So this is beautiful. Okay, next. I want to put this over and our little excuse me. All right. So there's these little holes here, and of course the little screws. So here, like, see that? There's like little pegs, and then the two holes. So you can't really mess up on this. Okay. We put that O-ring on there. So we'll lube that. And now we will attach it to the pump. All right, let me set it up so I can get a better view. And we're almost finished. All right, so can you see? All right, so we're just going to take this. Are you getting that? Yeah. And then I always like to start with the center ones. And again, I like to spray these. And these are the ones that have the nut on the back. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up. And I'll be right back with ya. Okay, and I know I don't have to say this to most of you, but you also want to, when you're tightening things, you want to like do that, and then go down here. Okay, you kind of get the idea. So you don't want to, like, you know, tighten these two, tighten these two, tighten these two, because the bolts won't go in evenly. All right, so gonna finish tightening it up, and I'll be back. Okay, so I hope you learned something. Here's my new kitty, Timmy, and anyway, he helps. All right, so I hope you learned something, and come back and visit me on my website, and we'll see you next time. Bye.